Thank you. I'd like to commend the motion and commend Deputy Ward in particular for his ongoing work in this area. He certainly doesn't just pop up when issues hit the news. He's consistently bringing up improvement in mental health services and the need and fair play. Referrals to child and adolescent community mental health services in Ireland have increased by over 40%, from around 12,800 in 2011 to 18,100 in 2019. Unfortunately, our services haven't increased to match that. At any time, over 3,000 children and young people are on waiting lists for CAMHS. And the Minister for State for Mental Health and Older People confirmed that of the 18,000 children expected to be referred to the CAMHS service in 2020, only 11,000 were expected to be seen. So that's 7,000 people referred to in 2020 at a time when the COVID epidemic hit, when we all knew and could see that young people and the impact on them and their mental health was becoming more and more severe and more profound, that we will not be able to reach 7,000 of them within that year. In replies I and my colleagues have received to parliamentary questions, the HSE has stated that waiting lists are where there are due to availability of specialist CAMHS clinicians, current vacancies and difficulties in recruiting in an international context can impact on waiting times in various areas. This is the root of it, and this is something we cannot get proper answers to. Why are we not able to hire and retain clinicians at all levels in our psychiatric services to ensure that we have a functioning service? Why are vacancies up, not only for months, but sometimes for years? In replies to other parliamentary questions, why do we have competitions and interview panels for roles for which no one is successful, and then they have to re-advertise the role? This is the fundamental question that needs to be answered and needs to be addressed. We all know many people in our lives who entered third level to study nursing or medicine or some kind of care degree. We have a vibrant third level sector in this area. So where are our graduates going? Are they staying in the service, or are they leaving? If they're leaving, why are they leaving? Is it down to the cost of housing? Is it down to the cost of living? Is it down to the wages and salaries in our own health service? Is it down to the work practices in our health service? Is it down to having the lack of confidence in our CAMHS service, for an example, that people who qualify and desperately want to work in mental health services say, well, I want to work in mental health services, but I'm not working in CAMHS because I know what it's like. I know that some CAMHS are working and some are others, but I just know that I'm not going to be able to practice the type of mental health clinical service that I want to in the Irish context. These are the fundamental questions, and the answers can be painful for the institutions of our country, for government, for the HSE, for our third level institutions, but they need to be answered, because having all these vacancies continue year on year is leading to these waiting lists, is leading to these children and young adolescents bereft of the support they need. So we really need to get serious about recruitment and retention. We can't just throw it out there. We need to get to the root of it. We need real answers to parliamentary questions. We need honesty from the government into this. Once we have honesty, we can look at the reasons. We feel we know them, but where are the numbers? Where are our graduates going? How many people are leaving midstream? How many people are leaving because they're not getting the promotions they need? How many are leaving because they are whistleblowers who may not have come to government or to opposition TDs or local politicians, but may have gone to managers and been told to go away, that there's nothing to see here. We do need the answers to these questions. Most CAMHS services still operate Monday to Friday in the 9 to 5, 9 to half 5 model. That's outdated. That has to end. The only people who receive 24/7 mental health care in this country are the most profound, severe cases of young people who are being treated in the very few inpatient residential beds we have. We don't want to see our young people have to be treated in long stay inpatient residential care, but some are there because they have to be, some are there because they haven't had the early intervention care, because they've been on waiting lists too long and their mental health has deteriorated because they haven't got the care that they are entitled to, that they need, that they've asked for. And this is another thing, we touched on it last week in the mental health statements, the statements on young people's mental health, is that the reason, part of the reason we have more presentations is because people are, it's not because people's mental health is worse now than it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. But people now are talking about it more and have the confidence to say to their parents, to their peer group, to whoever it may be, that they're struggling, that they need help. And that's to be commended. But if we keep going the way we're going, and if we keep going with waiting lists like this, and if we keep have situations like South Kerry CAMHS, people will be less inclined to do that. They'll say, no, I'm actually going to keep this to myself because I can't face being left outside. I can't face not getting the care. Or, worst of all, I can't face going in and opening myself up, my vulnerability, asking to be cared for, and getting the poor care that's ultimately going to damage me. And that's why this is so. That's why this is such a chronic failure. Is that these young people got into the system. They were supposed to be cared for. They were supposed to get the treatment that they deserve and that was their right, and they didn't. And we're going to have parents tonight and last night and tomorrow night and carers who are second-guessing whether they can engage with the services now, whether they have the trust, and they have to. And we need to make a call out that advocacy on behalf of young people with mental health is more important than ever. And parents and carers need to have the confidence and need to be in the environment that if they do get into the service, that they're able to ask every question under the sun of the person who's giving that care. It doesn't matter how senior the consultant is or the doctor that's treating them is. Ask questions about the medication. Get second opinions. No question is too stupid. Everyone is vitally important because we need to now, unfortunately, hold all our professionals in this area to account. The days of just blind trust in our medical professionals is gone, and it's because of cases like this. It shouldn't have to be that way, but it is. And I just want to finish on this statement, on this question, Minister. You referenced your support for a National Director of Mental Health last week. I'd like to know if any progress has been made, what the Minister has said, if you had any conversations with him, if he's back from his trip, if you have put this to him. Because if we did have a National Director of Mental Health, it wouldn't help every individual case, every person going through the system or trying to get into the system at the moment, but it would be a statement of intent from this government as to how highly, how important our mental health services is. Because I do believe you, Minister, I do believe that you hold mental health services in that regard. I do believe you speak with real integrity and passion on the issue, and I do believe you when you say you want this role. So you want it. You're the Minister in charge of mental health. So if it doesn't happen, we need to know why. Because I think if we get this role in place, we'll have a figurehead and we can drive on and deliver the cultural and systemic change that we need to with our child and adult mental health services. I'd just like to commend the motion again and thank Deputy Ward.